What do you know now about choosing a career that you wish you knew earlier?
So, the biggest thing that I would tell my younger self is to take a very deep breath and that it will all be okay. I put so much pressure on myself in the beginning of my career. I was constantly worried about my next steps and if I was making the right choices. If you had told me 10 years ago that I'd be working for an education company, I would not have believed you. Yet here I am, the happiest I've ever been in my career. It's so important to be aware of your mental and emotional health as you are figuring out your future. They're just as important as everything else. I also wish I knew that it was okay to stand up for myself at work. Just because you're new or not as experienced or early in your career doesn't mean that people can treat you badly. I wish that I had pushed back on late hours or no vacation time or being the only person managing a huge amount of work. Work life balance is key, and having a manager who believes and agrees with that is also key. One of the few good things I would say that has come out of the pandemic is that workers are really starting to stick up for themselves more. The company that you work for likely needs you even more than you need them. So don't forget.
Very good point. This goes back to what Adem had been saying earlier too about being knowing your own worth and knowing your own self worth, and you put all this work into your own career, and you wouldn't have to be stuck with that company, especially if it could tend to be toxic or taking advantage of you in some way. If anybody has any questions, put them in the chat. I do have a question for you. So, as a vice president, are you finding yourself now, obviously you're managing a team, are you managing several individuals, and what kind of what prepared you for that? And I feel like you touched upon a little bit about that in terms of like you wish earlier you knew how to kind of like push back on certain things, but has that affected you then as a manager and now as a vice president? Have you taken those things into consideration?
I try to manage my team as I would want to be managed. And I want my boss to believe in work life balance. I have a young son. I've got a lot going on in my own life. I have hobbies. I need to play Animal Crossing. Like there's things going on that I can't be working all the time. So I think that's something that I really try to focus on as a manager is making sure that people are making time for themselves. They are giving themselves those mental breaks. That is just so utterly important. And I know that because I also need them. So, it's something that I think the leadership team just generally needs to realize about themselves, about their employees, about what people need. But I think just over time, that's just always how I've tried to approach my career, whether it's social media. What do I want to see online? What do I want to see as I'm scrolling? If I'm managing someone, how do I want to be treated? What do I want, how do I want people to treat me? How do I want them to uh, receive my vacation requests? All of that.
Make sure to check out the My Career tab on the BC Navigator app, where you can track your career progress based on the amount of credits you've earned, stay updated on upcoming events from the Magner Center, and watch our videos for insight and advice on your career field.